In this video, we are doing a performance test on DNS resolution on clients deployed on Kubernetes.
We will compare CoreDNS connected with a bind server to resolve zone records using UDP versus DNS over TLS.
First, we are doing some initial tests to check the connectivity and response from a Kubernetes pod to the IPA server using UDP. Now, we test the same query using a secure DoT connection to the IPA server.
We check the CoreDNS is not configured to forward to the IPA server, looking at its config map.
We run the same DNS query to the CoreDNS server to check it does not return the right former IP address. Now, we are configuring CoreDNS to forward zone requests to the IPA server.
We are patching the config map and executing a rollout restart of the CoreDNS deployment to load the new configuration.
We run again the dig command to see the right response from the CoreDNS server that has forwarded the query to the IPA server. Now we have CoreDNS configured for the first test.
We are doing the DNS perf test using a Kubernetes job. We are creating the input config map to inject the queries to the DNS perf job. Our job uses UDP to connect to the CoreDNS server, and we configure several parameters to test the performance, like the number of parallel clients, the number of parallel connections, and the duration of the test.
We apply the resources to start the performance test. We check the job is running as expecting, looking at the results of the first interval. It should return all no error responses.
We look at the dashboards, first the bind and then the CoreDNS. We need to check they are not CPU bounded.
When the test has finished, we grab the log from the job and load them into Prometheus for client dashboard.
We observe the throughput and latencies during the test for later comparison with DNS over TLS.
We add the certificate authorities for the IPA server, patch again the config map for DNS over TLS and run a rollout restart of the CoreDNS deployment. We run again the dig command to see the right response from the CoreDNS server that has forwarded the query to the IPA server using DoT. We repeat the performance test, creating a new job. We check the job is again running as expecting, looking at the results of the first interval.
We look at the dashboards.
When the job is finished, we grab the logs. Upload the results to Prometheus.
And compares the results with the UDP configuration. There are no big differences, as here the limiting factor is CoreDNS input dispatcher.
Thanks for watching.